Hi everyone, as I promised that I'm coming with the core Java interview questions. So this is part one and I have a hell lot of questions on core Java. So I'll be filtering out and I'll be putting the questions which is mainly as in an interview, and I think I'll be having a series of Java. So if you wanted to learn it from the scratch, you can watch my videos and you can learn it. So we will not go into deep diving into it, but we just going through it as an interview perceptions, like how it is, so how we can answer it on if the interviewer asks us the questions. So on that basis I have created the video, and there are a lot of questions, so and which is very important as a Java person. You should know the answer. So as a fresher, if you are fresher, you can easily watch it and you can easily understand it. So this video is for even for freshers or even for the experienced testers who wanted to brush up the concept, because we just when we are started learning, we might miss some of other things. So in this video we covered everything. So yeah, before moving, so please subscribe to my channel and click on the notification button so that you can get notified whenever I'll upload the video. And even you can share this video to the freshers, because I think I don't have the subscribers who are more of freshers. I have a mainly of testing professionals. So this video can help them. So if you know any of the freshers who are preparing for Java and sometimes it becomes very difficult for them to get into it, so I think these videos can help them. So let's move into another slide. First slide. So what is the difference between JDK and JRE? So JDK and JRE, as we all know how we worked it in Java, but JDK is a software development kit. When we started working on, we have a JDK. So whereas JRE is a software bundle that allows Java program to run, whereas JVM is an environment for executing bytecode. So these three things we need to know: JDK, JVM and JRE. So the full form of JDK is Java Development Kit, while the full form of JRE is Java Runtime Environment, while the full form of JVM is Java Virtual Machine. So JRE is to run Java programs, isn't it? And what it converts Java bytecode into machine language. Okay. JVM is a part of Java Runtime Environment. It's a part of JRE. It cannot be separately downloaded and installed. Okay. To install JVM, you need to install JRE. So that is the basic questions. Okay. The full form of JVM is Java Virtual Machine. In many other programming language, the compiler produces the JVM. What JVM do is like it converts the Java code into machine language. So what happens is compiler produces the machine code for a specific system. However, Java compiler produces a code for a virtual machine which is called as JVM. So this is very important thing, that Java compiler produces the code for a virtual machines which is called as JVM. Why it is called as JVM? Okay, because in that Java compiler produces code for a virtual machines. Okay. So what is JVM? An abstract machine. Okay, in other words, it's a program or software which takes Java bytecode and converts the bytecode, okay, line by line, into machine understandable code. Okay, so it will convert into that 1010. Java machine act as a runtime engine to run Java applications. JVM is one that actually calls the main method present in Java code. JVM is a part of JRE, that we know. We should know about JVM is a part of JRE. Okay. JVM performs some particular types of operations, that is loading of code, verification of code, executing the code, and it provides runtime environment to the user. Okay. Now, what are the different types of memories allocated by JVM? We sometimes know heap and stack, but we have to know the different types of memories areas. Okay, when we have it. So at the first time, what happens is JVM language class, we have a class loader. Okay, and then after class loader, there are multiple memories. So what it is: class method area, heap, stack, PC register, native method stack. So when we go, it is in that we have execution engine, native method interface, and native method library. So even this is just way, and there is a method how it happens. So when the program runs, so class loader comes up. Okay, so it will go to class or method. Okay, so how it is, there's a different ways to do it, but in that this question is all about different types of memory areas allocated by JVM. So this is how the memory allocations it happens. Now what is JIT compiler? So this is the new thing. We know JRE, JVM and JDK, but JIT compiler is just in time compilation. So it's a dynamic translation or runtime compilations. So it's a way of executing computer code that involves compilation during execution of a program at a runtime. Okay, so just in time rather than before execution. Okay, so the just in time compiler is a component of a runtime environment that improves the performance of Java applications by compiling bytecodes to the native machine code at runtime. So it will compile your bytecode, okay, into native machine code. Okay, so JIT compiler help improves the performance of Java program by compiling bytecodes into native machine code at runtime. So this is very important question, and I think hardly some people knows about it, some people doesn't, but yeah, this is what it is. So how Java platform is different from other platforms. Okay, so Java platform is a software only platforms that runs on the top of other hardwares based platforms, and other platforms are mostly hardware software or hardware only. So can be run only on hardware based. So programmer can develop Java code on any OS, and most of the other platforms do not have this capability. So I think we know this thing, right? Dot class file, it will convert into dot class file. We'll go deep into it because if you are a Java person, you might know, but if you're a fresher, you might get confused. So that's why I'm not going deep into any of the topics. So we'll be covering those topics. So I have around 800 plus questions. So from 800 we'll go at least 600 questions, and if you go through with those 600, I think you are pro in Java. You will become a pro in Java. So I'll try to cover all 800 if possible. But yeah, if I'll mark some questions and I'll do that. So if you watch this series, and I'll try to upload every videos on maybe in short interval, so that you will be in the pace. So we'll try to cover learn Java maybe on next month, like in April, or maybe we'll try to cover we'll try to learn Java in 45 days. So we'll target that and see how we can do that. So why people say that Java is write once and run anywhere language? Okay, so that's what we said. So JVM act as a runtime engine to run Java applications. Java applications are called VORA, write once, run anywhere. This means a programmer can develop Java code on one system and can expect it to run any other Java enabled system without any adjustment. This all possible because of JVM. JVM execute the source code into bytecode. So it will convert your source code into dot class file. So you can carry your source code anywhere and run anywhere. Because dot class file you can run anywhere. Okay, because dot class file you have to say, because it is a platform independent, because this one is a platform. Dot class file is a platform independent, and this means Java can be developed on any devices, compile into standard bytecode, and be expected to run on any device is equipped with JVM. So do you think main is used for main method is a keyword in Java? Okay, what we use we use main, right, in the main method. So it's a keyword. That is the question. Main is not a keyword in Java. When you try to execute a Java code using Java command, the runtime will load the public class that you are trying to execute, then call the main method defined in the class. The runtime knows that main is the method to look for, as it is designed in that way. Okay, it's not a keyword, it's a method. So how does class loader work in Java? Okay, as we have seen there, right? Okay, so in our previous questions, that what we have is different type of memory allocators, different types of memories area allocated by JVM. So here we run class loader, right? So how that class loader works. So a Java class is stored in the form of bytecode in a .class file. Okay. After it is compiled, so the class loader load the class of the Java program into the memory when it is required. Okay. The class loader is a hierarchical, and so there is a request to load a class, and it is delegated to the parent class loader. Class loader must resolve the issues like no class, def found error in Java, and java.line.class not found exceptions, which are related to class loading. I think this thing about class loader work, that is store the bytecode in a .class file after it is compiled. But when it is like loads the class of the Java program into the memory when it is required. Okay. Okay. So can we write main method as a public void instead of public static void? We can write it. So we can change the order of public static void main to static public void main in Java. The compiler doesn't throw any compile time error or runtime error. In Java, we can declare access modifier. These are called access modifier. When we access modifier as in we made it public, private. We are providing the accesses, right? So how that's called access modifier. So we are giving access, like we will be making it access like it is public, it is protected, it is private. So we are giving accesses, right? So that's how it is. So access modifier in any order. So the method name comes last. The return times comes second to the last. Then after it's our choice. In Java, we do not specify any value for local variables. Then what? So the local variables do not have any default values in Java. This means that they can be declared and assigned a value before the variables are used for the first time. Otherwise, the compiler throws an error, because we don't have any default values. Let's say we run a Java class without passing in arguments. What will? So what happens is when we put string args, so we are not passing that args on that string. So okay, so the program will compile but not run because JVM will not recognize the main method. So main method has some syntax, right? Public static void main, then string args. So we are not giving args, string args. Remember, JVM always look for the main method with the string type array as a parameter. So this is an important question. So what is the difference between byte and char data types in Java? So we have a data type topic in Java. So what is that difference between bytes and char data? So the main difference is byte and char data type is that byte is used to store the raw binary data. Okay, that we have raw binary data, while the other is used to store the characters or text data. In terms of range, a byte variable can hold, that is the range we need to know about it, that the range of byte or the char variable. So the byte will vary from -128 to 127, but a char variable can hold any value between 0 and 255. So this is the first video, that's why I keep it short. I didn't make it little lengthy for that, because in the next video we will be having 20 or maybe 25 questions, because we have to cover the entire 800 questions into in our 45 days. We're gonna learn Java, we're gonna become pro in Java. So that's what our goal for this. So stay tuned for my next video, and please like and share. Please share this video to the people who are willing to learn Java. And I know, trust me guys, I have faced a lot of difficulties in learning Java in my initial days, and there are some people who are there are some people, they does not have the proper resources. It's not like they won't be able to learn that. The thing is, they won't be able to filter out which one is good for them. So that is the problem. So, and if they go get the good things, or it will be a little easier for them to get into what they wanted to learn, they wanted to understand. There are a lot of doubts which they even don't understand what is their doubt. So to explain to the other person, it also become difficult for them to explain it, because they might get confused with their doubts even. So I think this will give them the guidance to learn. So that's why I request you to at least share to the lot of people who can who are willing to learn Java. So yeah, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys. Stay at home, stay safe, and yeah, happy Holi once again. Thank you.